Career you can be proud of. Visit serve.nebraska.gov/service to find a program for you. Paid for by Serve Nebraska, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. The home of Kansas City Royals baseball. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Welcome into Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now here are your hosts, Jeff and Nicole Essig.
All right, welcome in to the Fitness Fanatics. It is August 27th.
Good job.
And we have made it to Husker game week. I know everybody out there is so excited. Nicole just showed me a picture that our daughter Snapchatted her last night a year ago in a memory. We all know what happened a year ago when we opened the season against Northwestern. It was a picture of me sitting on the couch with my eyes shut and my hand on my head.
With your jersey.
My jersey, and the caption was like...
That felt like 3 years ago.
I know.
I did a really good mental gymnastics in my head to bury that that year already. It feels like Scott Frost is a while ago.
The caption was rough day for the Essex.
Oh, it was just...
your phone in your hand, just fielding the text messages probably.
Just so bad.
When you saw the onside kick, was there even a millisecond where you spun that in your head to think this could be a good thing? This is smart.
Well,
or is that when you lost it?
No, you just typically when one thing goes bad to a team, they just don't totally collapse.
The Huskers did.
Because there's still, a whole half to go. But it was just like this. The thing that's been happening the last 7 years is just one bad thing happens, and it's just they can never recover. That's just how it's been. So hopefully things will be changing. So coming up on the show today, we got a couple of our FIT members. Brad and Liz Hoffman will be in studio with us. They've been doing ferals for a few years now. Brad is also the lead singer of the Killigans.
We weren't talking
We're
about
not
it this
playing the song. I'm just saying what he does.
Oh, okay.
So if you're a Husker fan and if you've ever been to a game there at Memorial Stadium, the last couple of years, the song Come and Runnin' Boys, or I call it the Scarlet and the Cream, plays at the end of the first quarter. So it's pretty cool. He's kind of a celebrity, big deal, I love that song. He was a member
for a while before you knew. How did you find out?
I found out because Mike Schaefer had shared kind of a story of how that song came, how it came about.
Yeah.
And
it's like an old song.
Yeah, back in I think when Nebraska first went to the Rose Bowl back in the early 1900s or 1940 or something like that.
I bet Brad knows.
That's we can get a little history lesson from him when they come in. But so they were showing Killigan singing it now, and I was like, wait a minute,
I know that guy.
Is that Brad Hoffman? And I remember texting you or showing you, like, look at this.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty cool. So I love sometimes when we're in class and he's working out, I'll play a song to finish class. And it's funny. So what are we getting the thumbs up for?
Oh, I have it ready, but you're not.
Yeah, we'll wait.
Okay.
We'll wait till they get in here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we can see him blushing. It'd be funny. But anyway, so they're going to be in studio with us. So we're going to talk to them just a little bit about, their ferals experience, what it's like to be in a band, try to eat healthy, be the example when you're traveling, stuff like that. We're also trying to, I know last year there was an event down at Haymarket where it was quote unquote called Break the Curse event, and the Killigans were there. Now, I think maybe that actually started to break the curse because it kind of started
we did beat Iowa.
We did beat Iowa. I was there at the spring game when Frank Solich came out and the dark clouds were lifted for Memorial Stadium. I was there. So I think maybe, the season didn't go like we wanted it to, but maybe that was the ball rolling. So we're going to try to,
Sure.
we're going to have them on here since we're only 4 days away from the first game. So we're going to talk a little Husker football with those guys as well. So that's coming up here at the top, or at the top 9:30.
Mhm.
So
The bottom of the hour.
yesterday we were watching Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Have we talked
Okay,
about
yeah.
it? Is that the movie? That's the movie we were hoping you've seen.
Have
We've
you
talked about it. We've,
Yeah, okay, well,
we've talked about it on air.
what's the first Willy Wonka movie?
Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is the original.
With Gene Wilder.
And then Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is the Johnny Depp
Okay,
one.
so I've seen Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
It's just
When is Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory? Like that's really old.
It's from the
That's when
70s,
the
I think.
Oompa Loompas have like really green.
it's
Yeah.
the
hair.
original.
Gene Wilder.
Okay, so I know what it is. I've seen like 20 minutes of the original Willy Wonka.
Okay, texters, if you're out there listening, you can text the show at 402-464-5685. And
We have seen that
let
movie.
Harrison know that he needs to watch this movie. We've seen the movie probably.
Is it that much better than Charlie?
It's way better. Yes.
What's different?
Well, because Johnny Depp is in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So it's like there's a lot of darkness in that movie that is not in the book or in the
Okay, that makes
movie.
sense because I
Yeah.
can definitely see a lot of the darkness.
like with his
the
dad
starving
that's the
family.
dentist and
Yeah.
it's Charlie. It's fine. Charlie and Chocolate Factory is fine too, but our kids love Charlie and the Chocolate Factory when the Oompa Loompa would run up this hill in one of the songs. Our son would get up and run into our kitchen, around our kitchen counter, and come back. That was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. We've watched both in our house, but Jeff and I have seen Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory probably, I don't even know, 500 times.
Yeah, if you have any comments on, which one you think is better, the original from the 70s or Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Johnny Depp, hit us up 402-464-5685 and let Harrison know if he needs to watch the original one.
This
I
is
will say,
relevant.
the original has a better Willy Wonka.
It's better everything,
Mm.
honestly. It's relevant because there's a new Willy Wonka movie coming out.
Oh, I
A
didn't know.
prequel.
Prequel,
Okay.
Yes.
the origin stories.
Yes. So how Willy Wonka became, the titan of the candy industry.
I love how we
and the
stretch these
chocolate.
movies out.
I know.
I
know.
I feel like I haven't heard like any new plot and for like a lot of these Disney.
Yeah,
movies.
it's
You're right.
prequels, it's remakes, it's
Yeah.
this and that. So that's
I think this
coming
one
out.
will be a blend because I've seen the preview when I went to the Barbie movie with my kids, and it seems like it's a kind of a mashup of the two. It's a little more probably Johnny Depp skewed.
I really hope that we
Whatever.
can see Willy Wonka take down Milton Hershey. I mean, that's what we really need to see.
That is what
Let's
it's
get it
about.
done.
He takes down the
Didn't even realize.
giants.
I'm drinking out of my super old copy.
Well, hand it over because you
I
have
didn't know if that was
been
Syphil's cup.
rescinded.
Or is this
I don't
super
know.
Old.
Well, I used to have a coffee cup, and I must owe AD an apology because it's this 80s cup in really big cap.
Oh,
So
nice.
someone
Whoops.
can bring me the cup that I brought a while ago and bring that back to my possession. I wouldn't have
Mm.
this problem anymore. But nonetheless,
Oh, I see.
So we were watching Willy Wonka yesterday.
Yes, we do when there's no football on Saturdays.
Oh.
you didn't watch San Jose State?
Okay, so San Jose State was on the Pac-12 network. I don't even know if we get the Pac-12. And to be honest, that game starts so late.
We were still in bed
I was-
by
It was about halftime. It was kind of a snooze fest.
Yeah.
There was San Jose State gave them problems for a little bit, and it was kind of interesting, and then it was over. It wasn't too interesting. There was a stream on YouTube, is how I watched it. I don't know how that was
Oh.
possible. Not like YouTube must have not.
Bootlegged.
Yeah, they must
Yeah.
have not found it.
uh-huh.
That or it was like hardly. It was like me and like 10,000 other people. But
Well,
the
and
whole
you-
game was on YouTube, and I was like,
And
okay,
you wonder why there is no Pac-12 conference after this season.
yeah, good
Because
point.
The
Their
Heisman
game's on
Trophy
YouTube.
winner, the face of the conference is on week 0, and you go scroll through the DirecTV channels, and we got Jackson State versus. I mean, we got just.
That's a great point, and they didn't defend their brand at all.
Yeah.
That was the third suggestion. Was the YouTube live stream
Yeah,
of the
you can't-
illegal footage? Like,
Yeah,
that
you
was
can't. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't find it anywhere. I
Yeah.
mean, I would have liked to watch Caleb Williams a little bit, but I prefer to watch him when against somebody that matters.
Yeah, same. Yeah,
You know.
usually you kind of look at those and you're like, what's the spread? 31. Let's see. First half, hope it gets interesting, and then obviously kind of tails off. But no, it was fun to see. Caleb Williams was he was all right. It was hard to pick up anything from that game.
Yeah.
USC did what they did. Overtime skill just took over. It was
You remember
a blowout.
those days when We had those games where we just won handily.
Yeah. Cluster Johnson was talking about it. He's like, hey, we can't look at La Tech
You can't, no.
because we've lost to Troy, we've lost to Northern Illinois, Georgia Southern. Did anyone think we're going to lose to them last year? It's like we just can't afford to overlook anyone.
No, we can't. So that's okay.
We were talking about Willy Wonka.
I know,
How do we get back on football?
Because Harrison
Unbelievable.
hijacked the situation.
Yeah, blame it on me. As you're walking into the studio with a
So-
Husker jersey on.
Well,
Of course, it's
yes,
game week.
Yes, it's game week.
I'm
But we were
just kidding.
watching Willy Wonka, and there's this little scene where Charlie's just
Oh yeah, I
you know,
forgot that's what.
see.
we were
This
doing.
is why we
Yeah.
were kind of tying this into fitness.
We are. That's true.
There's this scene where Harrison, there are 5 golden tickets, right? And you had to find the 5 golden tickets to go to the chocolate factory. Well, Charlie Bucket,
His family's really poor. For those of you living under a rock,
he opened 2 bars, right? And there's probably 500 billion bars in the world, and he only opened 2. And he didn't get it, and it was really sad.
kind
and
of down about
thought
it.
it was over, but he didn't give up, and he didn't quit, and he found some change in the street,
Mhm.
and he bought 2 bars, and the second bar had the ticket.
Because the last ticket was fraudulent,
Mhm.
but the news hadn't broke yet that it was fraudulent, so there was
Oh.
still a ticket. I don't remember if this is in the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory version,
I
but
think it is.
Okay.
That actually sounds about right.
yeah, the final one was fraudulent, so they thought it was over, and even the candy man was like, "I don't have to hide these anymore," and he buys the one chocolate bar.
Yep.
Well, 2, but he ate one right away.
Now Charlie could have given up and not bought
Just
those
never eaten candy
Right.
again.
He could have given up and quit, and but what he didn't know is he was so close to his life-changing Wonka bar, and sometimes that's what happens in our fitness journeys.
Mhm.
Is we get so close to when our bodies are really going to start to change, and we give up and we quit.
Or your mind changing.
Well,
That's
yes,
more
yes,
important, is
yes.
making those mental switches where
Mhm.
you don't care about the number on the scale as much, or you're not focused as much on the aesthetic part of fitness, and it becomes more about feeling better and feeling stronger. And so I think mental is probably a little more than waiting for that mental switch, more than waiting for that physical switch.
Yeah. So he didn't quit, and he found the golden ticket, and then he gets the chocolate factory handed to him. So
Mhm.
now I know what you're going to say, but I would have liked to seen another movie after that.
There is a book.
To see Charlie run the factory. Like that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see him and Grandpa Joe move in and to see if all of a sudden the other grandparents' legs started to work, because they were bedridden for 20 years. And then all of a sudden they get that golden ticket, and Grandpa Joe he's up and at him.
He's
like
pretty
it.
springy in that factory. I'll say
Right.
that much.
Yeah.
And
There's a great song of Grandpa Joe standing up and running around. So you don't know this because you haven't seen the movie, but yeah.
And yesterday I was kind of feeling bad for Grandpa George too, because Grandpa George he was just kind of looking around. He didn't say anything, and obviously Grandpa Joe's the favorite
Yes.
of them.
Well.
So anyway, have we got? I don't have access to the texting. So is anybody texting in about Willy Wonka, or is nobody listening today?
I think it's just us 3.
All
If you do want to chime in, 402-464-5685, as well as we're streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Allo Channel 951. Again, a great way to put a face to the voice, and we will have a couple guests on in the next segment.
We got a good big shout out to our sponsors here. We are sponsored by Integrative Life Choices. ILC is hiring direct support professionals all over the state of Nebraska, full-time, part-time, days, evenings, and weekends. If you're interested, you can apply at ilc.net/careers. Direct support professionals work to ensure a meaningful life for the people they support. They work to support people in achieving their hopes and dreams. So shout out to them. Appreciate all their support here on the Fitness Fanatics.
I do have a question for
yes.
Harrison, though.
Okay.
So what is a movie are you a movie person? What is the movie that you've watched? I mean, Jeff and I watched Willy Wonka when we were dating, like mostly because I had younger sisters. And so like we kind of put a kid's movie on, and so and they're kind of babysitting for us. But we watched that I mean, so many times. Do you have
Yeah,
movies like that?
the one I've watched over and over again. I got a couple of them, but we do have Nyla Boo. She's listening. Good
Oh,
morning to
good,
her.
good.
Appreciate her chiming in.
Big-
Yes, good. It's nice to know
Good
we
to know-
got
yeah, we're
one
not just-
listener out
We're not
there.
just talking to the
All
air,
right.
So
Yeah, it's okay.
Awesome.
again, the question: 2 movies.
Mhm.
I would say Shawshank Redemption,
Oh,
Forrest
yeah.
Gump. And those are 2 great films I watch over and over.
If
again.
they're on TV, you just pick up right where it is, and you can pick up right where you're watching
yeah.
it. Oh yeah,
And then I have to watch to the end
That's
because if I don't see Morgan Freeman
I
and
know.
I forget what's the lead
Tim-
actor?
Tim Robbins.
Tim Robbins at the
Yeah.
beach
Uh-huh.
at the end. I'm going to be very disappointed.
That's another one, Jeff. Every time.
I want to
Which
hear what they're
Shawshank
saying to
Redemption
each
is
other.
also a book. I don't know.
I mean, you want to watch a 3-hour movie about a surf shop?
I know.
Well, I want to just hear what they say to each other, at least.
So you want like a 20-minute kind of just tie up,
Yeah,
like
you know,
a
I
flash
just
forward after the credits, maybe.
yes, like I
It's a
don't.
short story by Stephen King, and I don't know if they have that in the
Yes,
short
I know
story.
there's Willy Wonka and the Great Glass Elevator, but it's a book. I would prefer to watch something.
We got the
Anyway.
latex mallard from MySpace. That's a interesting name.
Ooh.
All right, MySpace.
Yeah.
All right, awesome.
Throwback.
Yeah.
Throwback to MySpace. Have you seen The Patriot? I actually haven't seen that one.
Oh my gosh,
We
yes.
love The Patriot.
Patriot's very good.
It's one you can watch
Yep, it's
anytime or anywhere.
yes, it's very 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 good.
Mhm.
It's back in the Revolutionary War
Yep.
era, so it's very good.
Sad.
Yes, very very good. We've watched that with our kids. See, when you have kids, then you can watch all these movies over again.
Mhm.
That's a good point.
You know, but it was kind of like a good history lesson. Like we watched Pearl Harbor. Ben had to watch a movie for his history class last year in school, so Pearl Harbor. We watched that.
That's not what we watched for that, but okay.
Yes, we did.
We watched the one about the bombers.
Oh,
was
the
The-
Fly Boys or
Fat
no. Oh, what is it called? Yeah, I know.
I
But
know.
we watched 2. We
I'm gonna
watched
say it wrong. It's something. There's red in it. Red wings.
Tails.
Red tails. That's
Oh,
right.
Okay.
Yeah, so
It
we
was a
watched that.
newer movie.
Yes, and we watched Pearl Harbor with him.
Yeah, we
as
did.
well.
But that was the one.
So that's The Patriot's really really good. You
yeah,
have to
those are
be
2 really good movies.
emotionally invested in that, so it is a little bit of a tearjerker.
Mhm.
Yeah, those are you
As
guys get pretty emotional watching movies?
I do.
Do you?
Hmm.
No, not really. Maybe if a dog dies, but
So
if a-
Marley and me could be a tough
if a
watch.
human
I'm
dies,
not watching
I don't
Marley
really
Me
get
ever.
I don't really get emotionally. But an animal, I mean,
I know.
then-
I
then
always
it's big
feel.
time.
I always feel a little bit morbid because that was like one of the first movies that I got really choked up. I was Marley and me.
Yeah.
I was like, why is it a dog? You know, like I'm a.
Yeah.
It should be a little different. But
No, I cry at everything on TV. I don't cry in real life very much, but I'll cry at a commercial if it's sad enough. I can't.
well, then
help
at our house, people are looking at feeling each other out. The kids. We
it. Oh, mom's crying.
look at Nicole, Katie, like, okay, what is there any tears? And then, are you guys crying? Stuff like that.
Never
just
you.
stone cold. Just
Always.
no feelings.
Well, I mean,
He'll cry for a football game.
Yeah,
though.
after football,
Oh.
there at the tears.
yes, I'll cry during the
Save your
during-
tears for the fall.
Yeah, to like
right.
stuff that actually matters, right?
Excuse me.
All right, so
funny.
we got a few more minutes here. A little bit of Farrell's talk. We are getting in week 8 of our 10-week challenge. It's been a really, really good group so far. I
Mhm.
mean, we've only maybe lost a couple people along the way. Not like that, nobody died, but just quit. We lost a few. They just couldn't make it through the first.
No, we
week.
have a ton of people with perfect attendance still. I was noticing as I was doing the cards. Just a lot of really good just commitment.
Good energy.
We made it through that first couple weeks of school, which is always a tough time
Yeah, they should say
transitioning.
this is a really tough
Mhm.
group, not because of the people, because of the time of year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just that's a tough transition going
Mhm.
from summer to school starting, especially if you're used to working out in the morning, but now your morning routine is being disrupted by getting kids up and getting them out to school. And so you tend to be up later. Parents tend to be up later then because once the kids go to bed, then that's the only time you have kind of for yourself. So
Mhm.
that can be a hard time, but everyone's been doing really good.
Yeah, it's tough like the first week, especially if you work out at 6 a.m. trying to get the timing to get home, get your kids up. Now, us, I mean, we don't have to do anything because now Ben drives to school and he's already gone before we get home.
That's nice.
So he gets himself up with his alarm and he's out the door. We don't have to text him or
I do check
he up?
Snapchat. That's how I know if he's awake. So I'll go on Snapchat and I'll see if he's up. Like if he's been active on Snapchat by like 7, then I know he's up and good. I haven't had to ping him yet to be like, get up. He's done it himself. But that's how
Yep.
I know.
I'm glad I'm not a kid anymore.
I keep an eye on that.
That sounded scary.
I know.
I
Well,
gotta check.
I told
wake
him
up,
about
check
it.
Snapchat, and if he's
Yeah.
not up, I'm gonna ping him.
Yeah, but I haven't had to yet. He knows. I told him yesterday, so he's fine with it.
Yes, like I'm glad we didn't have that back in
We
when I
talked
was a
about
kid.
this.
Yes, like
just
being
sounds
able to go
terrifying.
to your
I'm gonna
phone.
ping
Why?
you. Like,
Oh, they ping us too. Our kids will ping
Okay.
us if we, Ben has pinged Jeff before.
I guess I'm
when-
not seeing this from the kids at advantageous points either.
Oh no, they'll ping for sure. Or if I'm at the store, I'll get a text message. Where are you at? Are you at Super Saver? Can you get me some blah blah blah?
Oh,
so
so they
it goes
look-
both ways in our family.
They look to see where we are.
But Ben has pinged Jeff before when he overslept picking him up from work or
Yep, because
so
my phone's
it's
on.
fair game.
It's on. Vibrate when I
Mm-hmm.
sleep, so I don't get woken up. But if you ping, then it's loud.
It goes through.
So
It's
he's
fine.
had-
My iPhone. We're
Yeah.
all on the same Apple.
so we're all on
plan.
the same plan. We can see where each other where everybody's at. But yeah, even like with the school, like the report cards, I remember.
Mhm.
Now I know the parents that I lived with won't be listening because they're both dead.
They're
so
angels.
They won't know what I'm about ready to say. But
Yes, they will.
like
they already know.
when I was a junior in high school, I mean, I failed every single semester test. Like when I was in high school, there was first quarter, second quarter, semester final, you had to pass 2 of the 3 to pass the course.
Yep.
So if you passed first quarter, second quarter, you could just fail the semester test, and it didn't really matter. But you couldn't go on to Synergy, right, and look at your current grades like you can now.
I get an email every Sunday.
We get emails, current grades, missing assignments. Back when we were in school, we didn't have that. So when I was a junior, I failed every single semester test. And it was at the end of the year. So I went and just picked my report card up from the school. So they never even knew. Never even knew I failed all those tests.
That's what I'm saying. It's
No.
just not an option for kids anymore.
No,
It's hard
it's
to
not.
It's hard to get away with stuff for sure.
You
Now,
can't.
It's possible.
You
now.
can't skip school. I used to skip school, and as long as I was home when that phone call came in, and then I was golden, it was fine. But now
Ugh.
they text message, they leave you a voicemail right to your cell phone, not a home phone, landline. We didn't have cell phones, so
mhm.
I could skip school and no
I
big
could
deal.
always. My mom always gave me the window to kind of skip school, but she just guilt tripped me so hard.
I know.
She did such a good job of making
Yeah.
me be miserable. She'd be like, "Okay, I'm not gonna make the call for you. Are you sick?" And if I was faking it, just kind of give me the roll of my eyes, and
Yeah.
then just want to do anything. Nope, you're stuck in your room. You're sick, right?
Yep.
And then just
I know.
miserable.
Yeah.
I would bring up Ferris Bueller, but I don't know if you've seen Ferris.
I have.
Bueller.
That's actually a
Okay.
movie I
Okay.
enjoy.
I was gonna say
That's the one where they have the
did
red car and he's trying to spin it in reverse to take
Yes.
miles
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Did you lick your palms
Yeah,
to,
okay.
To
get your
pretend you're
hands
sick.
clammy?
Yeah.
Like that was so you have seen. Well, that's good. So you have seen
Yeah,
some
I've seen
80s
some.
movies.
I've seen some classics.
Okay.
Because you'd already Ferris Bueller. That's an all-time classic.
It is. Yeah. That's kind of should be required watching.
I did hear that I think they were going to be making a movie. Again, this is tying off movies. So yeah, you talked about having the car go in reverse. So when they had their day in Chicago, the 2 guys that worked in the parking garage stole the car
Mhm.
and drove all over. So I think they were going to be making a movie
Of
about
what they do.
their day.
That would be funny.
Like after they steal the car.
That'd be great.
What did they do for 5-6 hours to put
That
on
would be a good movie.
300
actually.
miles on this car?
That's a good point. We never get an explanation of that.
Nope.
Yeah,
Just
and
see him joyriding briefly and then
right. And I like when series end. For example, I don't know if anybody out there watched the series Manifest, but it was a series
no
finale.
spoilies because maybe some people
Well,
haven't seen it.
It's a series finale, and it was probably one of the best that I've seen. Like there were no loose ends.
Yep.
Everything was tied up. You looked to the future. I mean, it was great. It was perfect. And then we watched the Blacklist, and it was just dumb. Like
The Blacklist finale was the
we're just
worst
like,
finale.
I never watched it, but I heard a lot of people were upset
So
with
bad.
the ending.
you know,
Yeah.
like this is how it
No
ends
spoilers.
for Raymond. He's just
Don't
I
spoil
know,
it.
but that's how it ends.
I know.
Like he's been shot at and tortured, and
It was
I mean,
a
just
weird
everything.
ending.
And this is just kind of stupid.
It was.
You just didn't get any. So that's kind of how I am with stuff.
But endings like the hardest part.
I know.
That happens to so many. Breaking Bad did it perfectly.
Breaking
Game
Bad
of
was good.
Thrones struggled. And that's just detrimental. That can really ruin your entire image.
Yeah.
Because Game of Thrones was like everyone's most favorite thing.
Yeah,
and
we
they had
never
one
got into
bad
that.
ending.
Yeah.
And now everyone was like, oh, it's
That's
not worth
why
it
I have
because the ending's
no
gonna make
desire
so
to
bad.
watch it, because when you ask people about it, they're like, the first couple are great, but you can just kind of skip the last 2
So that's
seasons.
where I'm at.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, so I'm gonna watch this.
I'm not gonna even
the
start.
finale, the climax is the part
Right.
I'm gonna tune off at.
No.
Like, it just kind of ruins it for you.
That's too much of a commitment. But
Yeah.
yeah, Manifest was a good one.
It was great.
I'll have to watch Manifest. When did that come out?
It was one of those that started on TV and then it moved to
started on
Netflix.
NBC in the
Yeah.
last couple. So I believe they're all on Netflix.
Add
Yeah.
that to the list.
Yeah.
But see,
a
now
good
it's
one.
like
it's good. It's cheesy. It's a little.
I'm watching Ted Lasso right
Yeah.
now. so
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
well, and now it's hard to start any new series because football's on. Like
Yeah. That's
during
gonna
the
be done by now.
summer and spring, it's like now we can binge watch shows that we haven't seen. Like we watched every season of Lucifer. I don't know if you've seen Lucifer
I've
or not.
bits and pieces.
It was
Never sat through it.
one of our son's
Yeah,
shows.
it was really good. So that's what we watched over the non-football season.
And we finished Lucifer. Now we're watching all football stuff again.
Yep,
Watching all the football things.
back to that. We did watch a little for the local people here. Noah Walters was on ESPN yesterday.
Was he really?
The Lincoln East quarterback.
Yeah.
Yes, he plays for North Alabama, and they were playing Mercer on ESPN. So I watched a couple drives and then I took a nap. So I don't really know how it ended or how he did or anything. But he was on ESPN.
Man, I did not realize.
So that was
I should
really
try
cool.
to tune in for that.
That was really cool. And so Ben was watching too in hometown Lincoln, Nebraska, which, you don't really see that a lot for quarterbacks out there. So that was pretty cool. But all right, well, we're going to take a break here. We're going to be joined in studio by our guests coming up, Brad and Liz Hoffman. So don't go anywhere on Fitness Fanatics 93.7 The Ticket.
Sunday morning. It's quiet, not in a weird, too quiet way. Calm, peaceful, tranquil. You pour yourself that cup of coffee. You slice yourself a hearty chunk of one of Beatrice Bakery's breakfast breads. Now, maybe you're an apple streusel guy. Nothing wrong with that. I can respect that. Personally, I'm a turtle nut man. Something about those pecans. But don't sleep on that nut bread. Sweet, but not too sweet. Nutty, not overly. The perfect morning treat. Beatrice Bakery. Online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Join Planet Fitness now and get the PF Black Card for only $24.99 a month. You'll enjoy an upgraded experience with tons of perks.
Like access to more than 2,000 locations worldwide?
Yep.
And massage chairs?
Yes.
Can I bring a friend every time?
Sure.
Can my friend be a horse?
Nay. Sorry. Get the PF Black Card and feel fit-tacular. Only $24.99 a month. Our most popular membership, the PF Black Card, is your ticket to getting all the perks. Join today. See Club for details.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay. Playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza. The big one. All the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? By their clothes, their age, the way they speak? Would you notice a 16-year-old boy who got his first job?
Not for extra spending money, but to help feed his little sisters?
Or a mother who's in between jobs and sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner? Or a 14-year-old girl who signs up to every after-school activity, not to make friends, but just to get something to eat? Or a retiree who fell ill and had to choose
between getting medicine or groceries.
I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. People you pass by every day but never knew were hungry. I am hungered in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it twice a day.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it in the morning and before dinner.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it, and share it with my doctor. Nearly 1 in 2 U.S. adults have high blood pressure. That's why it's important to self-monitor your blood pressure in 4 easy-to-remember steps. It starts with a monitor.
Now that I know my blood pressure numbers, I talked with my doctor. We're getting those numbers down.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check. Talk to the doctor now and share it.
Be next to talk to your doctor about your blood pressure numbers. Get down with your blood pressure. Self-monitoring is power. Learn more at manageyourbp.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the American Heart Association, and the American Medical Association, in partnership with the Office of Minority Health and Health Resources and Services Administration.
They are our love bugs and companions. They are our pets, our family, and they make life better. When we face unexpected challenges, so do our pets. That's why we're on a mission to support people and their pets. Whether donating a bag of kibble, sharing an Instagram post of a lost cat, or welcoming a foster pet into your home, every bit of kindness counts. Visit petsandpeopletogether.org to learn how to be a helper in your community. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Mario fue pintor más de 30 años. Cuando me dijo que se le estaban olvidando las cosas, fue difícil. Un día me dijeron que pintara el marco del lado por dentro y pinté el lado de afuera.
Yo le diría a la gente que le diga a su familia lo que está pasando con él.
Si algo se nota diferente, podría ser Alzheimer. Es momento de hablarlo. Visita alz.org/nuestras historias para saber más. Un mensaje de the Alzheimer's Association y the Ad Council.
Hey, you got any gum?
Yeah, check my backpack.
What's this?
Oh, that's naloxone. It can reverse an opioid overdose. I decided to always keep it on me after my friend almost died. It saved his life.
I'm so sorry. That makes me want to have it with me too.
You totally should. Check the pharmacy. It was actually really easy to get, and it's easy to use.
I definitely will. Thanks.
Paid for by the CDC. Sponsored by Nebraska DHHS. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hey, it's me, your cell phone. We need to talk about something. Something serious. I know you love me. I know you like using me wherever you are, but I feel like this isn't working out when you're driving. I know you may think that it's possible to focus both on me and the road, but I just don't feel the same way. I think we should spend time away from each other when you're driving. It's for the best.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You could say
Oh.
words.
Well, I didn't know if we were going to start this song or not.
Oh, okay.
All right, Harrison, here we go. All right. Well, what you were listening to was sang by our guest that's in studio. So we are joined by Brad and Liz Hoffman. How are you guys today?
We're doing good. We're excited for the new season.
Oh my gosh, I was just goosebumps listening to that song
You need
right
to
now.
sit down. That's
What-
why I'm
why am
putting
I
a chair
sitting down?
behind you. Because I'm short and you're tall. And to be honest, yeah, there we go.
All right, we're just so fired up.
I'm
This is
sorry, I
awesome.
was trying to be subtle, but you were not taking it.
Are we good now on the camera?
Mhm.
Okay. All right. So we were listening now. The official name of that song, I say Scarlet and the Cream. That's what I say. The official name of that song is
The Cornhusker.
the Cornhusker. See,
But it's got a byline that like in parentheses it says "Come a running, boys."
Okay.
So it does have kind of two titles, but not yours.
Yeah.
it's not the Scarlet and Cream.
No, but that's all right. You can call it whatever you want.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna get to the origins of that song in our next segment. Okay. So, but this segment, we want to get to know these guys a little bit. So, Brad and Liz have been members at our Meadow Lane Farrell's location for 2-3 years. I don't know the exact start date for you guys, but I'm sure you know. But before we get into the Farrell story, I just want to get to know a little bit about you guys. So, Liz, we'll start with you. Where did you grow up in Nebraska? Like, where'd you went to school? And then did you play any sports, anything like that?
Sure. Yeah, I grew up in Northeast Nebraska in a little town called Creighton. And I played all the sports because if we were not busy, we were put to work on the farm. So
So you did the sports instead of farm work.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was always the goal. And I also like the social aspect of it. I always wanted to try to be out there meeting friends, playing sports. But I really peaked in college at Wayne State College. I was the 1998 intramural speed walking champion that year.
Wow.
That's
a really awesome, like, fun fact story. I love that.
You're the intramural speed walking champion.
Yeah.
Like in the nation.
Just
Or-
at Wayne State.
oh, just it- well,
that one
I don't
year.
think it's a national, like, I don't think there's national stats probably for that.
I think they met out on the lawn and walked, and then went to the bars.
No.
you sped walk from bar to bar.
Bar crawl,
College?
but bar
It
speed walk.
they had judges, like you couldn't start running. Like it was like a heel toe.
You did the
Yeah.
hip swing thing like they
Yes.
do in the it's an Olympic sport, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, speed walking is a thing.
I didn't even know about that before we met. That wasn't even what drew me to her.
What?
That
Well,
was just icing on the cake.
Bonus
Had you known
material.
Yeah.
that's pretty awesome. I was gonna ask you if you
great
had
story.
your average Jeff moment or Al Bundy moment in
Yeah.
high school, college. So
Yeah,
that
the
would be
interception in high
yours.
school. Yeah, no, mine
I think
was
that's better.
college,
Yeah. That's great.
That's pretty awesome.
Very
I've never
cool.
been a champion at anything. Well,
Ping pong.
I was the church. Chubba Purdy's listening out there.
Oh,
I was the church ping pong champion back in 1999.
wow.
Mhm.
See,
So-
everybody's got something.
Yeah.
Right. Chubba knows. I've challenged him to. I've asked him about ping pong. So if he's out there listening, I'm ready. I don't have that trophy. I don't know what happened to it, but
It's probably somewhere.
I did. I did. It's in my heart. Yes, Harrison said it's in my heart. But I did, and I also won the 1995 Essing Christmas ping pong tournament
Wow.
as well.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
pretty
it's
much
not
any
speed walking
no, it's not
at a
speed walking.
college level.
No.
The collegiate level speed walking, but
But
I just feel like with both of you guys, do you ever think what might have been?
I do sometimes.
Missed opportunity.
Well, I
awesome.
played in the Iowa games
Uh-huh.
for ping pong, and
Oh, cool.
yeah, it's
Oh.
no, it's
smoked.
yeah, I could barely even return a serve. So yeah, I mean, I'm good for a basement player, you know,
Sure.
growing up. But yeah, no, the professionals like Forrest Gump, and I mean, you can't compete. I can't compete with those guys.
The
So,
professionals like
yeah,
Forrest.
like Forrest Gump, that level, you know.
Right.
All-
Anyway,
All right, so Brad,
Yeah.
where did you grow up? Any high school sports?
Yeah. I grew up in Grand Island. I went to Grand Island Northwest, and I played in high school. I pretty much played football and I wrestled, and I did track just sort of for fun because kind of for the social aspect, especially when I was a junior and a senior, just to sort of do some like off-season cross training. My buddies were all doing. I was pretty lousy. I was a thrower and I wasn't any good at it, but yeah, I was football and wrestling. I started at both. I was nothing spectacular. I guess my Al Bundy moment is I'm not a very skilled athlete, but I'm like a dumb animal, so I've always been good at lifting things. So keep in mind it's a Class B high school, but my junior and senior year, both years, I was the strongest person in our school. So I did a lot of I lifted a lot. I don't want to say powerlifting.
Like Arnold Schwarzenegger strong?
Yeah, but shorter and
or Screech Powers.
Like the Grand Island version.
Yeah.
Not Austria's version.
Okay.
Dad does like Arnold. He made us watch the documentary over
a good
vacation.
Sounds good.
We watched it.
Yeah.
We watched the first couple.
Yep.
Yes.
So I was strong, and so that allowed me to start, in the sports that I played, but I wasn't very talented. And then when college came around, I really enjoyed playing football a lot. But then when college came around, college would be like, "Hey, cool. Wait, you're 5'9" and you want to play offensive line? That's not gonna happen."
Yeah.
So
Can only take you so far.
Yep. Yeah. So that's my Al Bundy moment.
Now, how
Very
did
cool.
you guys meet?
On the radio. Isn't that
On
crazy?
the radio.
Really?
'Cause you-
Oh, this
okay,
is-
so you have a
yeah.
little bit of a radio background.
Yeah, I was a communications major in college, and I was the tutor. So I got to tutor Brad a few times. Not really. There was a few sessions he came to, and sometimes he didn't come. And but then you had your own radio show, and you asked me to be on it.
Yeah. So Liz's, what's your degree?
Communications.
Yeah. So she was on the radio and TV. My degree, my undergraduate degree, is in sociology, which, in case any listeners are wondering, is a useless degree. Cannot do much with that. But I also had a really, really hefty case of 1990s slacker, and so
Did you wear like a flannel shirt all the time?
I had flannel shirts.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Cool,
Well,
cool.
it was very much like late 90s punk rock, like pop punk. So
Okay.
Lots of like Weezer style sweaters and like super baggy cargo pants, and it was
It was hot.
I had hair then. I wasn't bald, and it was sun end all the time.
Nice.
So it was beautiful.
It's the look.
Yeah. So I woke up one day and I thought, I want to be on the radio. I had no reason to be.
That's what we did.
Yeah. Yeah. So I took the prerequisite class, and then they were like, "Well, we need somebody to take the 6 a.m. spot." And I said, "I'll do it." And I ended up my own morning show called Meathead in the Morning.
Was this the college radio?
Just college. Liz actually worked. She was the tutor for the college radio station, but she worked at a Norfolk radio station as well. And so I was just some schmuck. And so we had mutual friends, and we kind of met. We met through them. And I won. I won you.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
Was it? So it was. You said Wayne State, right?
Yeah.
So what all was like? So did you just play music? Like, what was your morning show like? Was it like early break, or what did you talk sports? What was the morning meathead show?
Right. So it's Wayne State, and it was 6 a.m. So I'm pretty sure no one listened.
Everybody's sleeping, the college
exactly.
kids.
Yeah, exactly. So I kind of did what I wanted.
Whatever.
So I was, I've been a musician for a long time, and I was like in a ska punk band in college. So that was like my musical interest. And so you could scour the approved CDs. You could scour the approved CDs list. And at 6 a.m., nobody really cared what you listened to, as long as it didn't say swear words, right? They were like the approved tracks. And so I pretty much.
Which you weren't always great at.
Well, every now and again I would slip up.
Be ready, Eric.
Yeah, he has the finger ready.
Yeah. And so I would play just music that I liked. And if I was really tired, I would put on Rock Lobster by B-52s, because like a 12-minute song. And so
Flock of Seagulls was on.
yeah, so I put on Rock Lobster, and then I would just like sit back and close my eyes for a while. But yeah, so you're required to have like radio breaks, and I basically just sat around by myself with my headphones on, and I would entertain myself. So I would tell stupid jokes that I'm sure nobody thought was funny but me. And I would, give commentary on whatever. Nobody cared because nobody listened.
Yeah,
And
you're just filling a seat.
yep, that's all that it was. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm trying not to play F words on the air. So.
Yes.
Like,
And you guys
Rage
have been
Against the Machine.
been married how long?
I go for it.
Oh.
Pop quiz.
Come on, Brad.
Do the math.
19.
19.
Yeah,
And
do
it'll
the
be
math.
19 in September, right? Yeah. See,
Okay. It's just hard when you're on the spot. I know.
Right,
I know. You say the one wrong number and never.
Not as long as you guys.
Yeah.
We got you beat by 6 years.
Yeah, I can actually always remember that because we've been married about the same number of years the Killigans has been around, and I always remember that.
Right, of course.
Sure.
That's why Jeff remembers our first date because Nebraska and Texas.
You tie it to a sporting event.
Yeah, something memorable.
He tied it back to the day we first met because of a wrestling WWE wrestling
that
event
I missed.
Yeah. Oh.
To
I
go
did
to the
not.
skating party
Right.
for our church.
Totally worth it.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right.
yeah,
well, we're
we
going
get
to
it.
take a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about the Cornhusker song and the origins and how the Killigans started singing that or took that over. So we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with Brad and Liz Hoffman on Fitness Fanatics 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The Electrical Workers of Local Union 65 licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Old School with DP and J.
They have the run and gun offense coming in. A new head coach that's been given the longest runway of any coach in Wisconsin, new coach in Wisconsin history, to change the program to Cincinnati way, and a new defensive philosophy. They're ripe for the picking.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Old School with DP and J.
They have the run and gun offense coming in. A new head coach that's been given the longest runway of any coach in new coach in Wisconsin history to change the program to Cincinnati way, and a new defensive philosophy. They're ripe for the picking.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? By their clothes, their age, the way they speak? Would you notice the 16-year-old boy who got his first job
for extra spending to help feed his little sisters?
or a mother who's in between jobs, sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner? Or a 14-year-old girl who signs up to every after-school activity, not to make friends, but just to get something to eat? Or a retiree who fell ill and had to choose
between getting medicine or groceries.
I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. People you pass by every day never knew were hungry. I am hungered in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungeredAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
1 in 3 adults have diabetes. 1 in 3. That means it's you, your football buddy. Your football buddy. Or you, your best man. Your worst man. You, your dog party. Your cat jug. While 1 in 3 adults has diabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes? That's 33.3333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm going to take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its pre-diabetes awareness partners.
Sometimes I just cannot believe all the storms we've gone through here. I can only hope that we'll be able to leave this house to you one day. You're our legacy.
Planning for these disasters will make sure we're safe, and it's the best way to protect that legacy.
Protect your legacy. Visit ready.gov/plan for the tools and tips you need to start your emergency preparedness plan today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
My early Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard to take, but it gave my mom and me time to plan.
Talk to your family about seeing a doctor. Go to alz.org/time-to-talk. A message from Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into the Fitness Fanatics. Got a quick segment here. Chat with Brad, who is the lead singer of the Killigans. So a couple questions I have is, where did the song "The Cornhusker"? When did it originate? How did it come back? Like make a revival?
You guys like reworked it a little bit, right?
We did. Yes.
Okay, yeah. That's not the actual like song. I mean, yeah.
We took some artistic
Liberties.
liberties with it. Yeah. So the song, the original song, was written in 1906. So it's very, very old. And I know that the Husker Marching Band has played it for years.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just been part of their catalog that they've played. Well, that's that. And there are old recordings of like men's glee clubs singing it, things like that. I'm sure people who are familiar with the song have heard those recordings. Well, in 2014, so the guys in the Killigans were, for the most part, all Husker fans, and so for several years leading up to this, we had tried to write sort of a Husker, pump up song, some kind of a Husker song, and it is so hard to do that and not feel like everything you write is cheesy and corny and just super lame. It's like, we're gonna get the touchdowns, or it's like, our drummer, God bless him, one of my best friends, he wrote a song. He wrote lyrics to a song called "Sea of Red," and it didn't click. We were like, we get what you're doing. We've all tried it too. It just isn't good. And it's not he's a great songwriter, great guy. That didn't work. So it's very hard to do. So we'd been batted around the idea for years and years. Our accordion player, Pat Nebesniak, he had played in the Husker Marching Band. In fact, he's the closest any of us ever came to college athletics because he was in the marching band and he got to go to the Rose Bowl in 2001.
Oh, nice.
And it was really cool. So he came at us with, hey, here's a really, really old song, and maybe we could do something with that. So myself and our guitar player, Chris, he and I do most of the songwriting for the band, and he and I started tossing around ideas with like different arrangements of this song. I had one that was drastically different that I submitted the whole thing. I was like, here it is, completely different melody. And we were like, nah, we want to stick closer to the original. So what ultimately ended up happening was what you hear when you listen to the song, where the verse is very similar to that melody. The chorus we essentially wrote from scratch, because if you're gonna the whole idea was we wanted to write a song that still had like our feel. And so our feel is kind of a folk, kind of a bar band. We do a lot of sing along stuff. And so we wanted to still have our feel. So we came up with that chorus that's a little more for Nebraska and like that. So that was that. So we went in and we recorded it. The funny thing with the song is that, especially when you look at the attention that it's received over the years, it was never our intention to have like it played in the stadium or to really be anything.
Right.
It was sort of a fun side project for us. We're like, hey, let's go see our buddy Charlie at Few Studios and let's just record a song and then we'll just kind of throw it out there and that'll be that.
Yeah.
And then it got a whole lot of attention for a little while. And so anyway, as far as like the song itself, that's sort of how that came about. We just sort of collaborated with each other, tried several different versions, ultimately came up with this one.
So the first time they played it in the stadium, it was great because we don't usually watch the games. We usually just listen to it on our radio at home. And so we had the pregame going and I was doing dishes and all of a sudden I could hear the song in the background of behind the commentators. And so I was like, Brad, your song is on the radio. And he comes running upstairs with a plunger and a toilet cleaner.
I was literally while I listened to the game on the radio.
I'm like, keeping it humble, Brad.
It was
so you didn't even know they were going to be playing it?
Nope.
That's crazy.
It was the Miami game. when Mike Riley coming in or whatever.
Right.
So yeah, it was very shocking. And then my phone started blowing up. So there are 7 guys in the Gilligans. And as a quick aside with that, all these other bands that kind of refer to us like the birther band because between the 7 of us, we have 18 kids and a grandkid.
Right.
So sometimes it gets hard.
But you've been together for like 19 years. So yeah,
It's been a
right.
long time. So our phone started blowing up, and did you guys hear this? Did you guys hear it? Because you could hear it. Nobody drew any attention to it. You could just hear it in the background noise. And we're
That's
like,
so
is that
cool.
us? That's us. That's us. So it was exciting. So that was in 2014, and sort of the quick funny story with that is that we got when that happened that fall. The next day, like we had radio interviews, and it was a big deal for a day and a half, and then it just sort of went away. And no, that spring, and I misspoke. When Mike Riley came in that spring, that he had his first big pep rally. It would have been like spring of 2015.
Yeah.
And they asked us to play. And the reason I bring that up is super nice guy, Mike Riley. But he came up and he met us because we were going to play. And the event was like it was kind of a ho-hum event. But he came up and he's like, "Phil, it's nice to meet you. It's real nice." And he shook our hands. And I made some stupid dad joke where I was like, "Hey, coach, good luck in the spring game tomorrow. At least you're guaranteed a victory right away." Some dumb joke like that.
Like a joke you told back on the radio. Like one of those.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, yeah.
I think I might have even done like finger guns out.
And he's like, and we're in Oklahoma State.
Right, yeah. And he's like, "Oh, that's pretty sharp, right?" And so he gets up on the stage and he's doing his little pep talk. And he says, "One thing I know for sure, I don't know how the season's going to go, but we're guaranteed to win tomorrow." And I looked at my buddy, one of the guys in the band. I go, "Did Mike Riley just steal my joke? Mike Riley just stole my joke." And I was like, "You know what? I hope he loses." And he did.
So
it's your fault.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Is that why you guys were used to try to break the curse last year? Because
You
word
started
got
it?
out that you started it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
now we know.
So anyhow,
Yeah.
so that happened, and then like nothing else happened with the song. It just sat on a shelf. We didn't matter to us. It was never anything. Well, that was neat, and then that was it. And then I think it was 2018, they started playing it in the stadium, like kind of had
Became
a
a thing.
resurgence
Yeah.
and became a thing. And it was surprising to us. And I mean, for a little while, it was the fourth quarter pump up song, which is a terrible idea. The song is fine. We're proud of our work, yada yada yada. But we never meant for it to be anything that it is now.
Yeah.
We're very happy with it. That's great. But you get maybe you guys are aware the internet exists, and sometimes people anonymously like to have their voices, their negative comments. So when you get on your Reddits and stuff, there's always these message boards that for the most part, it's always been very well received. It's fine.
Yeah.
And then you always get those people that are like, "What is this, Metallica?"
Yeah.
I didn't really like it at first, but it grew on me.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
grew on me.
Well, and again,
Yeah.
what's funny is they're like, "This shouldn't be the fourth quarter pump up song," and then people would ask the Killigans, we're like, "Yeah, we know,
Right?
Yeah.
That wasn't our choice.
We
We're
didn't.
not,
Yeah.
we're not gonna say no. I mean,
Yeah.
it's cool, but
Yeah.
it's we've always kind of maintained like this was never meant to be. We didn't write it to be played, and we're very happy that it is. But
So now it's the first quarter, end of the first quarter.
and I think that's a good spot.
I do too.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
And in fact, in 2021, they were honoring the 50-year anniversary championship team. So, like, in the first quarter, the song would start, and then here comes the golf cart. Right?
Oh.
Please welcome back to the stadium, Johnny the Jet Rogers. And then it's a oh, it was just great.
Yeah,
It was
it's really
laughing.
cool.
So,
That's fun.
all right. Well,
Yeah.
we're up against a break. We're
Yep.
going to talk a little fitness and health, like the
Finally.
point of the show, which we usually get to at the second hour. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back with Brad and Liz. We'll talk their Farrell's journey and those other good, interesting things. So we'll be right back on Fitness Fanatics 93.7 The Ticket.
You've driven by GE Landscape Supply countless times, likely without even knowing, at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. Now it's time to stop in. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. They sell in bulk to save you money, and you can buy anything from a 5-gallon bucket to a semi-load. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere. Stop by 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday, and 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturdays. Go to GELandscapeSupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
Too many people believe that chronic pain, allergies, or illness are permanent and something you're stuck with. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness has been proving that narrative wrong for 29 years, changing lives for the better in the process. Their team is training the newest, most advanced pain-relieving techniques and ways to deal with toxins, allergies, pollution, and emotion that make you ill. Call today for a free consultation at 531-254-5695 or go to novotnynutritionandwellness.com. Novotny Nutrition and Wellness, located at 7th and Superior.
This is where it happened. Long hikes with friends, kayaking adventures with family, more horseback riding, zipline gliding, rock-based climbing, hammock camping fun than you could ever imagine. And it's all outdoors, amongst the trees and across the prairie, here beneath Nebraska skies. Plan an outing today at yournebraskaadventure.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
The Lincoln Chamber of Commerce, Nebraska National Guard, 55th Wing, and the Lincoln Airport Authority presents the Guardham Air Show, featuring the U.S. Navy Blue Angels, the F-16 Viper demo team, F-35, and the Air Force Wings of Blue. Experience a spectacle that your family will remember forever. The Guardians of Freedom Air Show, Saturday, August 20th and Sunday, August 27th at Lincoln Air Park. Parking and admission are free. Learn more at LincolnAirShow.com.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action. Victor sustained a moderate traumatic burn injury. I was doing school full-time. I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Happens when students come to school every day on time and ready to learn. They improve academically, become more responsible, manage their time well, and learn view of education. Whether your child is starting preschool or preparing to graduate, family support and a great attitude to education is important. Help your child come to school every day ready to learn. Make this the best school year yet.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Nebraska State Veterans Homes are here to serve veterans, their spouses, surviving spouses, and Gold Star parents. Join your fellow veterans and their families at one of our homes in Bellevue, Kearney, Norfolk, or Scottsbluff. With a sliding scale to determine your financial contribution, an excellent clinical team, and plenty of fun activities, our homes are the perfect retirement choice. Learn more at veterans.nebraska.gov/homes. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is where it happens. Long hikes with friends, kayaking adventures with family, more horseback riding, zipline gliding, rock-based climbing, hammock camping fun than you could ever imagine. And it's all outdoors, amongst the trees and across the prairie, here beneath Nebraska skies. Plan an outing today at yournebraskaadventure.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide or experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, call 988 for free, confidential, and compassionate support. On July 16th, the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is transitioning to 988. There is hope. For 24/7 support, call, text, or chat 988.
Sponsored by Nebraska DHHS, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Welcome into Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now here are your hosts, Jeff and Nicole Essing.
All right, welcome back in here, top of hour 2. If you missed any part of the show, you can check us out on the ticketfm.com's website on our podcast page. Also, we're on iTunes, all the different podcasts that you can check that out. Had a good first hour, a lot of laughs. It was
Why
fun.
is your hat so low? Sorry.
You know, because this hat's
I
really
know. I'm
big,
sorry.
and I was trying to put the headphones on like quick.
Okay.
and
Well, I
it just
feel like
kinda
you're trying to
slid down.
avoid looking at me or
No,
something. It's
no.
messing with me. There's
No, that's
also
fine.
hair on your microphone. Okay.
Oh, thanks.
I'm easily distracted, and that was one that was really getting me.
We did get a text last segment from Latex Mallard from MySpace. We
Texting
appreciate.
in again. He was also the one asking about the Patriot. in our first
Yes,
segment.
so it said love Brad and the band, so much talent and great people. Keep on keeping on, guys.
You're kicking my microphone.
What's happening?
You're kicking my microphone cord. Sorry, that one was valid because you almost pulled it off my head.
All right.
This is why we don't sit
So
next to each
I
other.
work,
Yes.
I work with Cody, who goes to Meadow Lane at 6:00.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And he loves the show because he says, I love the dynamic between Jeff and Nicole. And we never get that because you guys are always at one
Yes.
gym or the other.
Yeah, we're never
So he
together.
goes, it's one of the greatest things about Ferals that we never
I
get to
love that.
experience it.
Parents interact with each other.
Well, good. Then I don't have to feel so self-conscious about my weirdness
Well,
about things.
and we had one
all love
gym.
it.
We were there all the time, you know. So, but
That's not true because I was there in the morning and you were there at night. So they didn't get to see us together a ton, just at orientations and stuff.
Yeah.
So no.
but anyway, yeah, you know, I think people like listening to other people banter.
Yeah.
That's
Couples.
not them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if we're hearing couples argue, we're just it's not us. This is great.
Or when you have your
yep.
kids are older and then you go to a restaurant and they have small children and you're
Oh,
like, sucker.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
love that.
I do too.
I like people. I'll be with friends that there's like a screaming toddler, and they're like, "Oh, I wish somebody would shut that baby up." I'm like, "No.
It's a rite of
That's
passage.
great.
Right. I love it.
Good
I
for them.
Sit
yep.
back and watch.
Yeah,
Because we've been through all of that.
Yep, it's awesome.
I agree. So
All
anyway,
right.
back to the show.
Yes,
That
back
was
to
a
the
good
show.
5-minute detour, my bad.
That's okay. All right. So, Liz, I know you started with us first. When did you join Ferals and why did you decide to join Ferals?
Yeah. So I started during COVID and you guys were like one of the only gyms open even, or like not like making you sign in and register a time to come. So, and it was like just so nice to get away from the house because I was working full time at home. And so, yeah, just to get around some other people and get a workout in, it was amazing. Yeah.
So was that in like fall of 2020 or
Mhm.
was
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Because we were closed for a couple months from like March until June, I think, is
Oh,
when
yeah.
we reopened. But we did have a challenge that was entirely virtual
During
Yeah.
that
over
time.
the spring. I think it was like April, and then we finished up the last couple weeks in the gym. So yeah, it was
We just
interesting.
closed because we didn't want to. We could only have 10 people in the space
Yeah.
if we had stayed open. So we just kind of closed during that time and switched to our virtual platform. So by the time you came, we were able to. We didn't have to limit. Although you probably came when we had to sign up for Saturday classes.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
But,
Yep.
that was never a
Right.
concern of mine.
Yeah.
I wasn't there yet.
Yep. Yeah. So that was that was
But
an
me
interesting
and
time.
Brad, we came up with a top 5 list of why we love Ferals.
Oh,
Can we
Well,
share it?
absolutely.
Yes.
Let's get right to it.
Liz, love Liz.
Oh, so does Jeff. Oh, I hate him.
Let's,
But yeah.
Okay, the top 5 reasons.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'll
What do you
I'll
guys
say
love
them and then
Ferals?
you can add commentary if you want.
All
Okay.
right. Well, let's keep it short because they want to know about our fitness.
No, it's okay. This
journey.
is a
Okay, all
this is
Okay.
Well, this is
applicable.
even better.
So
All right.
we've been to a lot of gyms in Lincoln and we like most of them, but your guys is the best for us. And the number one reason is because of the welcoming, judgment-free atmosphere.
Yeah.
Like we had to leave for a while. You guys didn't shame us or that. When we like can't finish a challenge, you guys never shame us or make us feel bad about it. It's just always encouraging.
Yeah, it's just
Good.
a great atmosphere of we are all normal people just trying to get by, and we want to encourage everybody to get better for themselves. And so it's a great atmosphere to come into.
Well,
Okay.
and we go through that ourselves.
Mhm.
Like as gym owners, we have our ups and downs, and you know, not just weight on the scale, but you know, mental and physical, and you know, we get in ruts too.
Yeah.
And you
know?
guys are always so transparent about it. It's like you never put on a show for us. It's just always you just kind of say it like it is and let us know where you're at too. And it's
Yeah.
always been great.
Yeah, it's great.
Awesome.
Okay,
Awesome.
number 2. 30 to 45-minute efficient workouts and a predictable format, but a variety of instructors and personalities. So while it's predictable, you always get a little variety.
Right, right.
Yeah, it's nice to have that routine. You always know what you're going to expect, but because I was forced to sit down with a pen and paper and make my own top 5 list yesterday. And she's like, and then we'll talk about it. Okay, great. And then she compiled it. So we did have this discussion. But yeah, I do I like knowing that when I go on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, it's going to be a kickboxing class, and then on Tuesday and Thursday, it's going to be lifting. Like I really like that predictability kind of plan out. And the it's going to be 45 minutes unless you do. I like the express class. It's just a really nice,
It's a very
little
popular
lunch
class.
option. Yeah,
Yeah.
But different instructors all bring their own personality to it, and some people are a little more intense and they push you, and other people are really funny. And and so it's really nice. I think I could go to like 4 different class. I couldn't go to 4 different classes in one day, but if I went to 4 different classes in one day, you'd get 4 different classes, and that's really cool.
Okay, number 3 kind of goes along with that, like the humor of the instructors and the group as a whole, and how it feels like a very a family environment almost. And like we would have never said we want to sign up for a gym family. Like that wasn't us.
Right.
But then after we left, we had to leave for a little bit, and we're like, okay, we need to go back. We miss our gym family.
Well, and speaking of family, your son
Yeah.
does ferals also with
He
you
does.
guys.
Yeah, which is really great. So he our daughter, as we call her, our ball sport athlete, and our son, he is not a ball sport athlete.
Right.
So
me either.
so he's a very avid snowboarder, but you can only do that so much in Nebraska. So he does a lot of alternative sports, that sort of a thing.
Hiking,
Yeah.
biking.
But when it comes to just base physical fitness level, we were like, all right, look, if you're not going to play, because we played fall and spring and winter sports, and we're like, if you're not going to do that where you're practicing every single day with a group of people, you have to be exercising every single day. And so we were able to kind of bring him into the fold that way.
Yeah.
And he's doing really great with it. So we're really happy.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
That's awesome.
Number 4, the continuous challenges. You guys are always offering a new challenge. Even after you finish your 10-week challenge, you can keep doing different challenges. And we just always like being challenged.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
It just
then-
adds that variety to it.
Yeah. And then the last one, it's the dedication of you guys. Like, I don't know if there's a couple out there that works harder than you guys in Lincoln. It's just phenomenal how much you guys put into making sure that we're on track and everybody else is on track. And
Yeah. Well,
we
thanks.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't expecting a top 5.
I know.
Why we love ferals.
Could it have been a top 10, top 15?
Well, it probably could have been a top
No, I'm just
100.
kidding.
I could have went on.
I know. I'm just kidding.
She's been talking for
Yeah.
weeks. She was like, what's our game
I
plan for
love
this interview?
that.
And I was like, I'm
Yeah.
going to show up and talk. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. And a lot of that is intentional, like with the variety that you say. That's one of the first things we tell our instructors is we want you to teach the kind of classes you like to take. And that's how you get that variety. So it is definitely, we have a format, especially that strength training format. When the session starts, the first couple weeks, there's going to be a little bit of uniformity. But then, we want our instructors to kind of bring their personalities to it. And it helps keep them interested and engaged as instructors. And it's just really good for the members too.
What are some of the things you guys struggle with?
The music.
I don't think he meant at ferals.
Oh,
no, that's a
No.
great one. What about
I'll-
the music?
I'll tell you.
Like when Jeff is there and he plays old man music every day. I
This
know.
is
I'm
not
just
a
kidding.
Yelp
I'm just
review,
kidding.
okay? Like-
No, I want to talk about this. It's good.
I'll
It's
tell
good.
you just a real quick story about the music. I
See?
just
It's
was
a
having
thing.
a conversation with one of our 5-amers about this. Like I can play, so I can play a playlist, and as I'm walking around the gym, I can go to one corner and somebody is like, "This is the greatest playlist I've ever heard."
Yeah.
I mean, can we listen to this every single day?
Right.
And then I'll go to the other side of the gym, and somebody be like, "Can you turn this off? This is terrible." Like
It's true. It's
that's
hard.
that's the group fitness part of this, right? And there's some people that have headphones and they listen
noticed
to
Earbuds. Megan, she just commented, and Megan is one that wears an earbud.
Yeah, so
She said,
there's
"Ha ha," the music.
there's some people that listen to their own music, have one thing in their
Earbud.
ear,
Yeah.
Right.
which is fine. We're not like, take that out. You have to listen to what we're listening to. But that's kind of the thing about group fitness is, it's not personal training or where you're by yourself,
Right. Yeah.
and you can
It's tough.
choose exactly what you're listening to. Like if it were up to me, I'd be listening to more Metallica, more heavy metal stuff. But I know that's not like, it's not all about me. I mean, it kind of is, because I do like listening to 80s music. Nicole likes listening to more hip hop, newer stuff.
How do
Right?
you know? You don't know what I listen to.
I
First
know
of all, I can't.
because people complain to me about it.
No.
The thing is, for me, because as we've established at the top of the hour, I'm super easily distracted. So honestly, I can't always listen to music that I like because I will get distracted by the music when I'm trying to instruct. So I try to listen to adjacent music to what I like.
I
But
liked, we had a class with you, Nicole, and you were like, who would ever write Manifest Destination in a song? And Brad like
Yeah.
slowly raises
Yeah.
his hands.
I
He's like,
totally-
I
yeah,
have a
depends.
not
song.
what I said. I said, I swear that they wrote this song just so they could put Manifest Destiny in a song because it's a Panic at the Disco song.
And I
And
don't
every time
even-
it comes on,
Never even heard of that.
yeah. So I'm always like, I swear they wrote this just to put, what a weird thing to put. And then Brad's like, I did it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely put Manifest Destiny in at least one song. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So did
No,
the instructor
it's
get
true.
to pick the music?
Yeah. Have you never been in my class when people complain and I'll say, then become an instructor and then you can pick the
I'm
music.
just excited because because I'm going to be an
You are?
instructor.
Yes.
And then everybody can listen to my long form history podcast.
Right.
starting with that.
That's not music.
Yeah,
gotta
we
listen to
don't
music.
listen to podcasts while we're teaching.
So no, that's funny. That's good feedback, but
Yes, no,
also
good feedback.
it is what it is. It's hard. You have to have a certain beat. The music has to be certain beats per minute.
I
You have to-
sometimes I feel like, I go to different times each day. And so it's like that same playlist
I agree.
maybe gets used 3 or 4 times that week somehow. And I'm
Yes.
just like, I can't hear this song.
That is true. Which I mean, fun fact, our mix has like 140 mixes
was
on
gonna
there.
ask.
I know,
Yeah.
but we all kind of have our ones that we kind of
Yeah,
gravitate
our
to.
go-tos.
Elliot at night at Meadow Lane, he always comments how the music, the ambient music when he first walks in changes drastically if it's Jeff or me.
Because he likes my music better.
No, I don't not like your music. Okay. I call it old man music. It's still good music. But if my dad listened to it in the car, that's old man
It's
music.
old.
Right.
Yeah, it's
So,
oldies now. When
Yeah.
I was young, the oldies was the 60s music.
Yeah.
Now the oldies are the 80s music.
I don't think I have an opinion on the music. I like the music that you play, but if it's something else, that typical workout and
Yeah.
that's
What
fine.
about when I
Right.
play the
EDM.
Cornhusker during class
Well, I just don't like the beats per minute that you have it set at. It's
and I
not-
point you? I'm like, look, here's this guy sings this song right here.
Yeah, anybody who knows me know that's my favorite thing when people like point at me and single me out.
Yeah.
They're like, now let's listen to you singing
Yep.
while we all look at you.
Yeah.
Right.
While you're doing
know.
burpees right
yeah,
now.
exactly. Yeah.
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 That is funny.
Well,
but
the struggle I meant like
Yeah.
nutrition.
she was ready. She needed to get that off her chest.
Like because we don't want everybody to think it's just all just rosy and it's all great because we all have our struggles
Right.
as well. So like over the last few years that you guys have been doing this, like
Yeah.
I'm sure you have had your ups and downs and like so what kind of struggles, even though we have our struggles, you're still there.
Yeah.
You're still working out. You're still trying to better yourself. And it's like I said, it's not all rose colored glasses. Like we all have our ups and downs and things that we struggle with. But the main thing is you haven't quit
Right.
and given up.
For me, so I always will struggle with my weight. When I graduated from high school, I weighed 250 pounds. So I was like a really heavy guy. I rock right around between 2 and 215, 220 lately, unfortunately, but we're working on that as for my adult life. And so for me, it's all about nutrition. So I went through a phase in my life as an adult when I was like, I could hang out at 195. I've always, been pretty strong. So I've got a lot of muscle, but there's a lot of fat there too. And so I went through a phase in my life, like my 20s, my early 30s, where I could eat what I wanted to and compensate with exercise.
Mhm.
I was like, well, that's cool. I'll just work harder in the gym.
Yeah.
And that did it for me. And then getting old sucks and
Uh-huh.
middle age sucks. And that is not the case anymore.
Right.
And so what I have learned since starting Farrell's, really because you guys have coached us up on it, is that my nutrition is the linchpin. That's going to make or break my success or failure.
Mhm.
And I'm not as successful as I'd like to be. And I ebb and flow, up and down, that sort of a thing. But I still have got that hardwired mindset. Like, oh man, I really porked out, but that's okay. I'll just make sure I really work hard at Farrell's tomorrow,
Yeah.
and even though I know that's not a sustainable model, it's hard to break that habit, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but that's
Mhm.
also being realistic with yourself. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And so it's like we all go through that. And if that happens with me. Like if I weigh myself, I'm never really surprised. I almost always know what the number is because I know how I've been eating. And if I've been eating to, this number, I'm never going to be surprised. And so the important thing is that you recognize that you're in that season right now, maybe, and you're not self-sabotaging. You're not being too hard on yourself because you know that you're not your goals are not in line with your actions. Right. And sometimes that's okay. That's life sometimes. And you got to find a balance. Yeah. Especially like Jeff had talked in the first segment about you balancing that with being a rock star, Yeah, that's hard. You're playing in bars and you're, kind of surrounded by.
Yeah. You had asked me about that. Like how is it? How do you stay on track when you're and it's difficult. Yeah. So I'm not like a real heavy drinker. When I do play shows, I'll have a beer here and there. And I allow myself that. But my best example of how hard it is actually last September. We had just done a 6-week challenge where just to that whole model. Like I didn't miss a single day. And I was feeling great. I could tell I was stronger. I was feeling really proud of myself. And then I gained 5 pounds. And I was like, what the heck? So I was like, all right, it's got to be nutrition. And so that's when I did Whole30. Yeah, was last year, and I ended up. It was awesome. I loved it, and I ended up losing about 15 pounds. But part of that, I was very, very strict with it, and it was right in the middle of tailgate in October.
Oh yes, yes,
yeah, I remember.
Season.
Yeah, and we were out at the band played out at Kincaid and Broken Bow, and they always have a really big Oktoberfest show that's really fun. And they had us out there, and all the guys were like, "Try this free beer and try that free beer. Have this giant sausage." And I had to be that guy that's like, "No, thank you.
Yeah,
sorry, I'm on a diet."
Right.
And so, do you have any unprocessed vegetables? And so
that I could just pick right out of the ground and eat,
basically.
And so it was. So that was really, really hard because socially, it's when everybody that you're around is like, and then you're the guy that's like, no, but you usually do. People are gonna be like, eat the sausage, Brad.
Yeah,
eat the sausage.
I know. And people just shove food down our throats, all the time.
So I actually love Whole30. My family does not, especially when I try
Jeff
to force
and our
them
family.
to do it. Yeah, I love Whole30, and I've had a lot of success with it. And so I'll go through kind of cycles where I do it, just kind of tighten up. And I think that's what the whole point of it is, kind of a reset.
It is.
And we definitely took away a lot from it, and like used different recipes we learned during it, and now we've got to get our kids on track too now. So that makes, a whole new dynamic with nutrition. It's just like we've got the whole family wrapped up in.
Yeah. Which is really important because hopefully you're kind of breaking that cycle a little bit. So maybe your kids won't have to go through those struggles as much. Yeah. I tell our kids all the time, like Ben, especially when he's just pounding half a bag of Doritos, I'm like, enjoy it while you can, because you will not be able to eat like this forever.
Yeah.
and hopefully we're all planting those seeds with our kids that, when they get out on their own, they'll remember those things that you talked about to them when they get older. And our daughter, she meal preps, and she's aware of what she's putting into her body and stuff, and
the
how
fact
to
is,
eat and that type of thing.
I think genetics and stuff, there is something to where you just have to be more cognizant. Like I grew up heavy, and my family's kind of heavy, and we're stocky people. And so we've got friends, their last name is also Hoffman. They're really good friends of ours. We call them the Quiet Hoffmans. And they're all like, every single one of them, like nobody wears more over a size medium shirt. I mean, they're just like small.
They're
people.
Genetically small people,
They
right?
And so they'll never have to worry about it. And we're just like, we do.
I know. I always say I had like one good day in 4th grade when I could eat whatever I want, and then.
Yeah. And so our kids are natural that way as well. Like our daughter is very active, and she's very athletic, but she's also like 4 inches taller than anyone else in her class. She's taller and bigger and more developed than anybody else. And it's that awkward. She's a 5th grader. And so we're like, we don't want to give her a complex.
It's hard.
But we're also like, but we all have to be very aware of what we're doing.
Yeah. It's a very tough little tightrope to balance with kids, because that sticks with them. I can remember things that my family said to me that was completely innocent and offhand. They weren't trying to and it sticks with you.
Yeah.
We both had teachers growing up who called us fat. Like that was the word they used. Like, you're fat.
Oh my gosh.
And That
sticks with you
forever then.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
It's important to be aware of that. So that's great that you're doing that, and you're still showing balance too.
Right.
Yeah, it's fine. It's all good. That's awesome.
All right. Well, we're going to take a break. We did get a text from Crowbait said, I've got a Husker song Jeff should hear. It's rap, but it's from the 90s.
Oh,
I should hear that. Jeff doesn't like rap.
I'll tell you what, you can shoot me a text. 402-310-4026 is my cell number. Shoot it over to me. We'll listen to it. Appreciate you listening, Crowbait. We'll be right back on 927 The Ticket, Fitness Fanatics.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
This is Brian at Midwest Bank, and we've been proudly serving clients in the Lincoln community since 2008, and we're excited to open a second location in January 2024 at 70th and Pioneers Boulevard. Our new branch will provide all the convenient services you're looking for in a bank, along with the friendly staff we're known for. Whether you're starting a business or expanding your business, our team is here for you, your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwestbank.com, member FDIC.
Nebraska State Veterans Homes are here to serve veterans, their spouses, surviving spouses, and Gold Star parents. Join your fellow veterans and their families at one of our homes in Bellevue, Kearney, Norfolk, Scottsbluff. With a sliding scale to determine your financial contribution, an excellent clinical team, and plenty of fun activities, our homes are the perfect retirement choice. Learn more at veterans.nebraska.gov/homes. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
You deserve the best. With a Liberty First MasterCard, you can pay down your high-rate debt and could save hundreds when you transfer the balance. The Liberty First Credit Union MasterCard has no balance transfer fees, no cash advance fees, and no annual fee. And with a fixed rate as low as 9.99% APR and huge rewards, you'll be able to manage your card your way. Visit libertyfirstcu.com. Rates and terms are based on your credit and subject to change. Federally insured by NCUA. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose.
I will try. Yeah.
Needs more work.
Nebraska Pick 5 top prize odds 1,658,000.
Repeat after me. I will not touch the fuse box.
I will probably not touch the fuse box.
Sip, do you remember what happened last time?
Yeah, I remember.
What happened?
Half of the city block lost power.
And?
My chicken condo went haywire.
That's right. The chickens ran wild. So what do we do instead?
Call Joe at Ambition Electric and let him handle everything. Look, saved on speed dial.
Ambition Electric, 402-217-3415. We're online at ambitionelectric.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of Husker Online. inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning. Now in our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the Fitness Fanatics. We did have a text here during the break. Asked if we're out at the air show today. No, we are not at the air show. There was just, hundreds of thousands of people out there, and just kind of the signal of that the Ticket uses for their live remotes was just cutting in and out. And by noon, there was like no signal at all. So we kind of made an audible, and we're all in the studio today. So we appreciate you listening, though. We were kind of excited to get out there. I was going to make some people do push-ups for Ticket t-shirts, but maybe next time we're out on a remote. But we appreciate you listening. That was from 1533. All right, let's get back to our conversation. We're going about 10 minutes here. We were talking off air about food prepping for family of four with kids. So I think that's the struggle that a lot of people have. Is like, well, little Johnny won't eat this chicken that I made,
or Big Jeff,
or Big Jeff
in our house
won't eat the asparagus.
We're kind of a strict family, and we don't care. We make it, they eat it, or they don't eat.
Okay.
Well, that's how it used to be, right?
Yeah.
I think family, like meal prep, what gets in the way for us is you get so busy.
Yeah.
And for example, if I'm 6 o'clock Farrell's class, which is really good, I love all the opportunities. But if I go to a 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock Farrell's class, if you don't get home till 7, you haven't had dinner yet, you're like, God, what do we do now?
Valentino's is right next door.
I know.
That's ridiculous. That has been a point of contention in our house
since Meadowlake.
What are the location?
Yeah.
Honest Abe's, Valentino's, Scoops.
I'm
bar,
I'm sure I'm
Chinese.
glad we're members at multiple gyms so that you can spend $50 on pizza after we exercise. So, and we've had discussions about it.
That's a slippery slope too, because then you become conditioned. It becomes like a lab rat mentality where you're like, then you're just pushing the button. You're just opening the door.
Easy.
Yeah. So we've never done that because of that reason.
Ever since I had initial success with Whole30 and then kind of like really started doing a lot of reading about how bad processed food is for you. Again, I'm not great. I'm trying here, people.
You're just being an informed consumer.
Yes. So I have been trying to push us more towards as little processed food as possible. And that is so doggone hard to do. Not only when you look at like the time and meal prep time. I mean, we try to be proactive, yada, yada, yada. But also when you look at like kids eating lunches over the summer, like our kids are old enough to where they would prepare their own lunches, but it's hard to have non-processed foods that are just easily accessible for kids to be able to prepare for themselves.
Right.
So as much as it like, I rage against it, I'm like, we're not going to buy anything processed, but the reality is you still have to.
Yeah.
And then trying to be successful with your health and your fitness while still trying to be logistically everything be feasible, like I mentioned Farrell's, but we didn't even mention, sports practices and play and school, everything else that people do. So
we both work full time.
We both work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard. I know, like last week with the heat wave,
right,
that threw a wrench in me and my eating a lot because I am hot and miserable and I don't want to turn the oven on. I don't even want to stand in front of the hot stove. Like that was a weird week. Last week was a weird week for me nutrition wise because I just didn't want to. I didn't even want to fire up the air fryer,
Right.
The house can't keep up. So it is. They're always constantly being thrown. It's like you're juggling, and then all of a sudden life throws in, that's a sword. And you're like, I can't juggle all of this and not get cut by the sword. So that's hard. It is. And you're going to have to like hope for more good days than, those off days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it ends up being like little things. Like there are snack foods we can have. And that's the other thing. my whole life it's been like, oh, this is my fitness, my health, and now I've had to change this outset to like, no, there's 4 of us, and we all need it,
Mhm.
because there have always been certain snack foods that we could have in the house where it was like, yeah, that's cool, you can have those. I'll say like a couple of hot takes that people are like, what's wrong with you?
Mhm.
Like I could take or leave ice cream. I'm not a huge ice cream
I'm
guy.
I'm not either. And
That's
yeah,
safe to have in the
I
house.
eat it way too much for
Mhm.
someone who doesn't love ice cream because the rest of my family does.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just need to be like, no, I
Yeah,
don't want it.
chips are always safe to have in the house, things like that, But then there are things like, if anyone ever bakes a pan of brownies, I look at that pan, I'm like, you're not going to see the dawn.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gone.
No, yeah, it's like all like 11:30 is going to roll around, and then I wake up the next morning like some werewolf. I got like crumbs.
Yeah.
Like, what did I
Mhm.
do last night?
And unfortunately, our son is so good at baking.
Yeah, he's really into baking.
So
Yeah.
good at
He
it.
got really into it, and he's really good at it. And
He
I was
loves
like, "What
it.
are you doing? Are you trying to give me diabetes?"
That's what I say when our daughter brings home Oreos and
Yeah.
wants to make scotcheroos.
Because
And
I
I'm
can't
just
stay
like,
out of them.
Yeah.
My willpower fails at desserts.
I know.
right.
It's
really
hard, and especially when, like you said, it's a whole family of different dynamics. Like our daughter could buy a package of Oreos, and if it wasn't for Jeff or she could have that thing in the cupboard for like 2 months and just eat like 2 at a time. I don't know where
Mhm.
she got that from, but that is not. I don't eat them unless I'm going to eat an entire row. Like,
Yeah. Yes.
right? No, so I don't eat them more than I do. But I'm like, I'm not just going to eat 2, so I either have to eat none or I have to eat too many.
And then you have to deal with like the look of like accusation and betrayal from your kids.
I know.
They're like looking like, you did this.
That happened in our house the other couple weeks ago. I'm only telling this because you appreciate the transparency, but our daughter buys Pop-Tarts, and normally I stay out of those, but I got into this really bad habit of eating them before bed.
Yes.
And you didn't even know because you're already down in bed. And so
Yeah, that's
she
really healthy
had
to
a
eat right
panic.
before
I
bed.
know, it's terrible. Don't be me. She had this panic attack that she thought she ate the whole box and forgot or didn't know.
And
She's
you're
like,
yes, you did eat the whole
she
box.
accused you. She accused Ben. She was like, did Dad eat those? I'm like, it was me. And it wasn't all of them, but there was like 2 left, and she knew there were more, and she thought the box was bigger than it was. So she thought she had eaten. I had really only eaten like 2 or 3 packages, maybe over the course of like 2 weeks. But she thought she ate them all, and I had to come clean. And I did. Yeah.
Well,
So-
it usually is Dad or Ben.
I know. That's why I had to come clean, because I didn't want her to accuse you guys, because she asked me first. And I just came right clean. It
Well,
was me.
the main thing is just finding a balance, right?
Yeah.
It
Like
really
you
is.
can't beat yourself up.
No.
You're not going to be. I mean, at least I don't want to be perfect.
Right.
Like, because I
Well, because
want.
you can't.
Right. I like to
Yeah.
enjoy. I like having my free days, my free weekends. I like eating pizza, like eating ice cream. And, if Nicole and I weren't gym owners, we would be in bad physical health.
We could be competitive eaters.
Yeah.
We've always said that.
I think I could compete. Yeah.
I think I could too.
So like the flip side of that for me anyway is that weight related illness does run in my family. So I just had my physical the other day, and they said you're short and you're kind of fat, but otherwise fine. All my blood work came back fine.
That's what is
Right,
important.
yeah.
But that's the thing,
Yeah.
yeah. So like diabetes runs in my family, and that sort of thing. Well, for me, because I've always been over 200 pounds since the time I was 14.
Mhm.
Now my joints aren't quite what they used to be. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So,
Mhm.
when people talk about like, oh, it's not about the number on the scale. Well, for me, it kind of is, because I want that pressure off my joints.
And it's a
so-
slippery slope. Like
Yeah.
you can tell yourself that, and then next thing you know, you've gained 30 pounds
Right.
because you've just been telling yourself that,
Yep.
so it is
Mhm.
hard. I think one of the things that I use as a tool that I don't really talk about, I've never talked about this on the air, but when you have those times where you want to really be really down on yourself, I always focus on what I can do, and as long as my like weight or my body type isn't keeping me from doing things that I want to do. So if I take a step back, I know I can make improvements, like don't eat Pop-Tarts, which this was weeks ago. I haven't had Pop-Tarts in a long time. This was a long time ago, and I haven't had any since I got exposed. And so, or I exposed myself, but I will take a step back and just realize that, like, if I live the rest of my life in this body, I will still be able to do everything that I want to do. And that gives me grace to not panic and start to do things that are unhealthy just to achieve a size or a number
I
on
love
the scale.
that.
Yeah. So as long as it's not keeping me from being active and doing the things I want to do,
That's where I'm
I'm
at.
going to give myself a little bit of grace, and it's going to swing back around. It just does. You know, we kind of always fluctuate a little bit. And so I think that's a good tip sometimes for people. Like, you got to separate yourself from the data sometimes and realize you're still working out multiple times a week. You're still able to do stuff with your kids and be active and go on hikes and bike rides and stuff like that. Could it be better? Well, always, but it could definitely be worse too. So you got to find that for sure.
Yep. All right. We're going to take our last break and we're going to talk a little bit more Killigans and Husker football when we come back. So season just 4 days away. So come back and join us on 93.7 The Ticket, Fitness Fanatics.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
What happens when students come to school every day on time and ready to learn? They improve academically, become more responsible, manage their time well, and learn the value of education. Whether your child is starting preschool or preparing to graduate, family support and a great attitude towards education is important. Help your child come to school every day ready to learn. Make this the best school year yet.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association in this station.
A Shiro's work is never done. You care for the house, the kids, and our future. We're so grateful for all you do. Now it's time to care for yourself and save a little more for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to boost your retirement savings. Visit aceyourretirement.org/Shiro today.
A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
You've worked hard all year, sweating, building, providing. Labor Day is your day. Schaefer celebrates you this Labor Day. With the season kicking off, a new Samsung, LG, or Sony TV is just what you deserve. Top that off with up to $900 in savings on a new Serta mattress, and you will be all set for a winning combination. Schaefer's, local and family owned since 1946.
A smoke-free environment is the only way to fully protect from the dangers of secondhand smoke. That's why smoke-free policies are so important to me. Whether it's in my car, apartment building, or when I'm dining outdoors, there's no place for secondhand smoke or e-cigarette aerosol. Breathe easier knowing the facts. Visit smokefree.ne.gov. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay. Play 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza. The big one. All the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. 4 a.m, my phone rang. They said, "I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action." Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. I was doing school full time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military and veteran caregivers across the nation. We have our own journey, and we can fulfill that journey at the same time that we are helping our loved one.
AARP.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by A and the Ad Council.
How is your drive to school?
Let me tell you,
I had to get my iced coffee first. I just can't seem to put it down. My favorite rapper just announced a tour. My phone was buzzing like crazy. I'm so excited. I had to text all my friends right then to talk about it. Then someone started calling me and
Let's try that again.
I turned my phone off right away. I never drive distracted.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in to Fitness Fanatics final segment here before we sign off. We got Lloyd's and Lincoln coming up after us. Football season starting. Stay right here on 93.7 The Ticket all week, all the shows. I mean, it's just going to be so much Husker talk. I want to congratulate all of the daily hosts here, like, Sip and Jake, Coach Bush and VJ and Rico and Nick and AD and Raph and Jay Foreman and DP. Congratulations. You've made it to football season. Now there'll never be a show where you have to think about what you want to talk about because it's all right there. So congratulations to you guys. Now the fun begins. We got football, volleyball, then basketball. It's going to be an awesome next 7-8 months. So back to the Killigans. Where can people find the Killigans on Husker game days?
Yeah. So on Husker home games, we play, it's a little confusing. We play most home games. We do a free tailgate at the Cornhusker Marriott, and it's a lot of fun because that's where the team stays, is at that hotel. And so what we do is we play for about 2 hours leading up until when the team gets on the bus to head to the stadium. And so people come and they'll gather. And then when the team comes out, the Husker alumni marching band,
sure,
they come up and they transition real soon. Like, we're friends with those guys too, and so they'll transition real seamlessly with us. We usually end with the song "The Cornhusker," and then we're done, and then they start, and then they play some pep band music, and then they play the team onto the bus. And so a lot of fans come out and cheer the team to get on there.
Have you guys seen that before? It's really fun.
No,
to watch. Yeah.
no,
So,
that's
okay,
awesome.
so
We've been there when the bus has gone by. Like,
The Marriott. What is that? Do we park by the Marriott?
No, I don't think so.
13th and what is that, Liz?
The
Just south of
Cornhusker
13th
Hotel.
and-
Oh, okay.
13 and M, something
Okay,
like that.
you don't know what I'm
the,
talking about.
The Cornhusker Hotel. Yeah.
Well, we
Yeah.
parked down by. I thought we parked by the Marriott.
Well, we've never seen that.
Well, we
before.
haven't because we don't ever go over there. We just start
I know.
walking to the stadium, but maybe we need to.
We've been there only one time when the bus was like driving by and people were cheering. But
It's fun to watch the players.
That is so cool.
Yeah, they put up a chain and they have. So 2 years ago, you guys remember we used to have a coach named Scott Frost?
Nope, I blocked it out of my memory.
Well, back when they first hired him, and everyone was like, "Everything's fine now."
Oh,
Remember that?
absolutely. Oh, hey, hey, we moved to Lincoln because of that. So
Yeah.
that's why we're here.
When he was still like beloved, it was actually kind of cool because we were playing. So fun fact, he's from Wood River,
Yes.
and I'm from Grand Island, and he's like my couple years younger than my brother, and so they like knew each other in high school. And my cousins all live in Wood River, small town, so they all know the Frost, yada yada yada. So there's that like weird connection there.
Mhm.
But he ended up coming through. We were playing one of our songs, and we're on an outdoor stage, and none of us knew he was going to do it. But he's wearing his, he always looked good in his suits. And I think it was like year 2 or something, and he like jumped onto the stage from behind, and like I'm playing and singing, and he comes up right here on my right, and he's like, "Yeah," fist in the air, and he looks at me and gives me a little wink, and then like jumps off the front of the stage, and it was
That's cool.
super fun.
That is
actually.
cool.
And we were like, we're going to be the winningest team in Husker or in college football history. Just wait. Thank you, Scott Frost. And then that did not happen. But
well, it's still a cool story.
It's a cool story. Yes.
So yeah,
we will definitely have to check.
So
that
like
out.
the first home game is a night game.
Yes, on the
6 o'clock kick.
Right.
So when do you guys start performing? So because we're gonna be Nicole and I are
It's the one game I get to go to. That
yeah
our
we have
kids
season tickets.
aren't
But
coaching.
My son goes to a lot of them.
Yeah.
I always let my daughter and her boyfriend go to one. Usually the one I don't want to go to.
Right.
So that'll be the second home game, and then my brother goes to a game or two. He lives in Colorado. So yeah. So what time does that whole thing kick off on that day?
So with a 6 p.m. kickoff, we'll go on around 1:30 to 1:45 in the afternoon. We play 2 1-hour sets, and then the Husker band comes in. But that's sort of how it looks. And typically when we do our first hour, it's a little more like kind of sparsely attended, people kind of just easy, and that's fine. We're there to kind of bring people in off the street and that sort of a thing. And then the second hour leading up is usually pretty fun. Like it's fun.
So
to
it's
see the
outside.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, so we've 100% never even been close to
along
it because we
13th
would have heard
Street.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's cool. And the tricky part with these tailgates is it's not every home game, because since we have to play a couple hours before,
We're like an 11 o'clock.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We don't do
6 in the morning.
That's exactly what we'd be doing. Is at 6 in the morning. So we do any game that starts after 11 o'clock. And so some of these later in the season TBA games, it's as a band, again, we've got 18 kids. And so we're always having to all right, everybody got this blocked out. All right, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. Keep an eye on, as soon as we know something, we get these big group texts where it's like, all right, they just announced 6 p.m. kickoff. All right, we're good. We're going to plan on this one. That sort of a thing.
Yes.
So
well, hopefully we'll get a couple more of those here in the next couple of years.
Like we thought, I think the Michigan one
an
was announced
11.
for 11, but we assumed it was Michigan, so it'll probably be later, and then it didn't happen. So we were like, all right, so I guess we're not doing that one. So we have to block out the fall.
It's kind of deflating. Like, so we get the 11 o'clock kick, which for Fox is the biggest time slot of the entire weekend. We're like,
yeah,
this really stinks.
Yeah,
I know,
because it's an 11. I was hoping it'd be a night game also.
Yeah,
but we'll see. I guess if we're 4-0, then who cares what time the game's played? It's going to be awesome regardless. So
yeah,
and sometimes like what Coach Bush was saying on one of the shows, he's like, sometimes those 11 o'clock games, when you're flipping through the TV, you're like, well, what the heck's going on with Ohio State against this whoever? Like, sometimes those teams are a little lethargic coming out. Or like when we played Oklahoma a couple years ago, and then 11 o'clock kick. It just takes a little while for the home team to wake up a little bit. So hopefully we'll be awake at that time. But yeah, it's kind of a bummer. But the good thing about those 11 o'clock games is like they're over, and then you can watch everything else, all the other games when you get home.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
And so people can, we'd love to see people come out on the 16th. Well, again, it'll be like, if you come at 1:30 or 2, that'd be a good time to come.
Cool.
And it's a lot of fun, but keeping track of when that is and everything, they can, we have thekilligans.com is our Facebook. Is our website. We're on Facebook. People can listen to our music. We're everywhere. We're on iTunes and Spotify and Pandora and
YouTube.
Apple Music and Amazon and everything. Yeah. And YouTube. Yeah.
And I'll tell you, if you want to have some goosebumps, just look up on YouTube the Cornhusker Scarlet and Cream, whatever you call it. It's there because there's a really cool YouTube video that shows like highlights from past Husker games. I always get goosebumps watching it.
Yeah.
Like I'd rather watch that then at the end, it's little Jack Hoffman running for a touchdown in the spring. And I always get just get chills.
Yeah.
So that's on YouTube. It's really, really, really cool. Okay, we got just a couple minutes left. How do you think Nebraska is going to do this season?
Am I going?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was cruising through the schedule. I'm going to go 7 wins. I think we have 7 wins.
7-5.
I'm very optimistic. I feel really good about Coach Rule and the direction they're taking the program right now. Like, I think there's a lot of really positive energy, especially, come on, man. We've been in the doldrums too long, right? So it's time to do something.
Just like Charlie Bucket.
Yeah.
When will things get better?
When will
Probably when
things
you
change?
least expect it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
When will things change? Harrison, you need to watch that movie.
Okay, so
Some
Liz, what
point.
are you thinking?
8-4.
Okay.
8-4.
I have no educated reason for that. I just like
It's
to,
all
top Brad.
Yeah.
She was like, pick one, and then I'll just go with it. But I will tell you,
Like the Price is Right.
Yeah.
It's $1 over.
Yeah. $1. I'll do 10,001.
Yeah, Bob. I'll say that last year, though, at the very first game, the first tailgate we played, I stood on. It was at the Break the Curse event. I stood there and I said, 10-win season, definitely.
Well, speaking of a 10-win season, Jeffrey, what's your prediction?
I can talk myself into. I look at the schedule, and this is why I've never been invited to be a daily sports talk radio host, because last year I was 10-2, I think. Also, this wasn't good, but I don't know. It really depends on this first game. I think if Nebraska can beat Minnesota,
Harrison's disappointed.
if they can beat Minnesota, I think they can go 10-2. If they lose to Minnesota, we're probably looking at 7-5. Just because I feel like something that we haven't had since 2016 is momentum.
Yes.
Like, it's been 7 years since we've seen any momentum with the program. And momentum just meaning winning 3 games in a row.
Right.
Like, I tell my kids, like, Nebraska won 25 straight games. 25 straight games from 94 to 96. And we can't even win 3 straight.
We're coming back from a deficit.
What,
But-
like, what was that look for, Harrison?
Oh, he's over there. It's a good thing Harrison doesn't have a mic.
Yeah.
He'll be able to talk later with about, with these other shows. But
Yeah.
one thing that I've kind of talked about over the last couple months is, we lost so many close games. 2021, we all remember how many close games we lost. When Mickey took over and Coach Bush took over the defense.
Right.
The very first opportunity we had was against Indiana, tie game going into the 4th.
Yep.
They won.
Yep.
The very next week, they went to Rutgers, down at halftime. They won in the 4th quarter. Back to back 4th quarter wins. And I really think it came down from the coaching staff really instilling confidence that Mickey's, hey, we can win this.
Right.
We can win. Not waiting to read the same story over and over and over, or we're snake bit. I don't think Coach Joseph was like, guys, we're snake bit. We're going to lose to Rutgers. No, he thought they were going to win. And yes, did they lose some 4th quarter games? Absolutely. But, when Casey's out, and I mean, there were a lot of those games that we could have won. But then look at Iowa. Oh, my gosh, we're up 24-0. I mean, it was almost like now we're doing an exorcism, trying to just beat this team for the first time. And, they were calm. The players were calm. And they got the win.
Yeah.
So there were 3 times last year, three out of 7 games, 3 out of 6, however many 4th quarter games we had, that they won. And, like Coach Rule says, guys, you were competitive in 2021. You're competitive in 2022. The talent is here.
Right.
We just got to get it done when it matters in the 4th quarter.
think
So that's what I'm giving hope. Now, talk to me 10:30 on Thursday night. Well, we might be singing a different tune, but I'm feeling optimistic. But we'll see.
Yep.
But anyway, that's it for the show. Next time we come on, either we'll be 1-0 or 0-1.
Or we won't. Either we'll talk about football or we won't talk
real
about
quick.
football.
Last year, after we lost to Northwestern, Harrison didn't show up to the studio because the whole state just shut down.
He overslept and we didn't have a fitness fanatic
it just
that
shut down, and we didn't have a show, which is probably good because I don't know if we could have mustered something up. But anyway,
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you guys for
Breaking the
coming in.
curse. Thanks
It
for
has been
having us.
awesome.
Mhm.
Husker game week. Wear your red on Thursday. We'll see you next
And
Sunday
Wednesday.
and Wednesday and Monday and Tuesday. We'll see you next Sunday.